scores for Warrington. He's in the grand final. His 9th appearance of 2016, and he's written his name large in the history books of this famous event. Declan Patton gets the first try of 2016.
Well, it all came about by the chip-on pass, and you can see that he was lying him. That put him under a lot of pressure. And this is just brilliant. Just throws the dummy. Very rare you see that Bateman gets caught out. Clark runs from dummy half, and you're right, Teddy. What an introduction to the top-class game from Declan Patton. Absolutely wonderful from the general, and he has opened the try scoring. What a start for them.
And what's more, he is going to try and add the extras.
Well, the opening quarter has been about pace, intensity and precision, and a team that applies those three things the most will give them a chance. And ultimately it's Warrington who get their names on the scoreboard first. Matty Smith probably left with a one-on-one decision. He was uncomfortable to move forward, he backed off a little bit, and that young man has just got his side into the game.
Okay, so Declan Patton then to try and make it the perfect 6 for Warrington. He has nerves of steel, this 21-year-old, and Warrington have the lead, 6 points to 2.
Well, the game's all about numbers and angles, and once Darren Clark set off there, you've got 5 attackers and 4 defenders. The vision of Patton means that he spots the gap, and those 4 points have turned into 6 all of a sudden. After a difficult 5 or 10 minute period there, they've now found themselves back in control of the match.
Well, he has played in every match since they were beaten at Wembley, and no wonder, despite the fact that Chris Sandow is fit and on the bench for Warrington, that Tony Smith elected to go with young Declan for this grand final.
And that just shows you that you need to have the courage, not as a player, Eddie, but also as a coach. He could not leave him out the way that Declan Patton has been playing over the past 4 or 5 weeks. He's been outstanding. You talk about a man who has just turned himself into a star overnight.
Westerman gets it away to Gidley. Gidley then to Wilde. He's cut down by... There is Chris Sandow waiting his chance. He's cut down by George Williams in that last tackle. And the Tautai is out there now for Wigan.
This is the last. It's got to be a good kick as well.
It's with Gidley, who normally puts good kicks in, and that's exactly what he's done again here.
Oh, they're all over the place.
It's another knock-on. Well, these kicks, the last 2, are causing Wigan all sorts of problems. Too many cooks here spoiling the broth.
Well, it was too many saying, I'll shield you, when nobody said, I'll take him. He's nowhere near it, Dan Sargentson.
Jumped a little bit too early, Dan Sargentson. He's got a full-back by trade, he's put his hand up, and with the ball in his hand, he's a devastating runner, but those are the facets of the game. As a full-back, you need to get right.
I think the ball just flicked up and touched his arm there, just as he hit the ground, came back up and hit him. Not on the way down, it was after it hit the ground.
Therefore, that's why the knock-on was given. That's why Warrington have head and feed. And here is Patton. Now he gives it to Ashton Sims. Sims gets Warrington to within 10 metres again. Clark. Gidley. Gidley gets it away. Wild. It's Toby King, I beg your pardon. Toby King is the man who's on the ball.
Good tackle by Gildart, had to be as well.
Westerman again up the middle.
That was a delayed pass. He didn't expect that. Westerman did well to take it. Now every time that youngster Declan Patton is shouting for the ball, he's creating all sorts. He'll go close.
He does go close. Stands and plays it to Clark. They give it width to Gidley again. A little drop of the shoulder. Gidley. He's almost over the line. Just short. This is the last one coming up. Gidley will play it. Clark gets it away. Try! Try! No! Has he dropped that? He has. No need for Robert Hicks. It's Jack Hughes. No need for Robert Hicks to hand this upstairs.
Boy, the referee was in a good position. Nowhere near the end of the attempt. He's claiming, not that he scored the try, but he's claiming that somebody knocked it out.
Anthony Gelling has a hand on the arm. He's allowed to have an hand on the arm. If he touches the ball, there's a question to be asked. Good defence from Wigan.
But a golden opportunity there, and Jack Hughes was very, very close. Sean Wade, the Wigan coach, has got to get the message out there. We've got to be a little bit tighter in this defence. They're a little bit fragile at the moment. Jack Hughes was very, very close. Sean Wade, the Wigan coach, has got to get the message out there. We've got to be a little bit tighter in this defence. They're a little bit fragile at the moment. Jack Hughes was very, very close. Sean Wade, the Wigan coach, has got to get the message out there. We've got to be a little bit tighter in this defence. They're a little bit fragile at the moment.
Well, this is a huge boost for him, for Sean O'Loughlin. Only the 24th substitute appearance in 382 games for Wigan.
But it's given a penalty away, Eddie. Messing around at the play. You can see it was a bit high, and he's holding on. He had a second one. Darrell Clark's pinched that. He has kidded the official there, and he'll be furious, Sean O'Loughlin. Absolutely furious.
This is a big moment for Wigan. I wonder if it's a big moment for England ahead of the Four Nations tournament that's coming up later this autumn. Is he going to be able to lead his country for Wayne Bennett? We shall have to wait and see. All that's for the future. This is the present. Able to lead his country for Wayne Bennett. We shall have to wait and see. All that's for the future. This is the present, and the present is the 2016 First Utility Super League Grand Final. And Westerman gets the ball away to Gidley. Gidley then finds Jack Hughes.
In a good position now, and this is where Warrington will be looking for the likes of Darrell Clark now to run from the dummy half. Remember, before the game started, Stephen Ratford is not shy about going into the double and into the dummy area.
That now is George King at dummy half. Here, Gidley again, long raking pass from Westerman, and well, Russell got to it, and I'll tell you what, Charnley got to him. Last tackle coming up here now for Warrington. Back it comes to Patton. Great kick, another great kick. Almost put out of the air. Here is Tierney, this is the zero tackle.
Boy, they've got a touch to it as well. Again, Wigan's defence, they're not defusing these kicks. It is a huge problem. That was just sheer luck that they didn't concede a try there. Again, Wigan's defence, they're not defusing these.
Oh, and a fumble, but it went backwards from Dan Sargentson, but that's no good as far as Wigan are concerned, because Ashton Sims comes. Oh, and a fumble, but it went backwards from Dan Sargentson, but that's no good as far as Wigan are concerned, because Ashton Sims comes. Getting up off the floor. Tautai has lost the ball.
Oh, what a great tackle as well.
Free play. Hughes dabs the ball over the top. They'll bring it back for the scrum. They knew they could do that. They had that luxury. They're going to be becoming more and more frustrated.
Are they ever? And they know they're coming up with the errors. You can't afford to do things like that. Boy, that was good work, wasn't it there? Wonderful play by Ryan Atkins. He went for the ball carrying arm. And the big fella just couldn't hang. He holds his hand up, but I'm afraid this could be costly.
He knows, Steve, or his job is to be one of those eater meters, gain the territory. And for a second he thought about passing, and while he brought that ball away from his body, Ryan Atkins bang snapped him short.
What you could see there in that long shot, the second row, John Bateman. Dear to me, there's blood, there's claret absolutely rolling down. He's receiving a treatment there, attention.
And that's why the referee has called time off. It's, as you can see, nose injury. Atkins.
He's receiving a treatment there, attention.
And that's why the referee has called time off. It's, as you can see, nose injury. Atkins. Years young yesterday. Let's go down to Bill Arthur. Yet more injury news, Bill.
Yeah, Bateman isn't the only Wigan casualty. Ben Flower, who came off a short time ago, has just had a lot of strapping applied to his right hand. And it looks as though there might be well, there distinctly is a problem there, the amount of strapping that's been put on that, and what looked like a cast as well underneath that strapping. But not as though that's going to rule him out. Just a word on Sean O'Loughlin, who recently came on the field. I talked to Sean Wayne just before kick-off, and he said that Sean O'Loughlin has had 2 training sessions ahead of this game. He did Thursday's full session, and then he did the captain run on Friday, and he's got no worries about his captain's fitness.
Fair enough, so Sean Wayne hoping that O'Loughlin might be the X factor tonight. This is Ashton Sims now for the Warrington Wolves. Ashton Sims has extended his original deal. He'll be here again next year, he hopes, at Old Trafford. Gidley, meanwhile, to Westerman. Oh, he gets the ball away, and that was a knock-on by Ratchford. This is a contentious call. Wigan are celebrating. Stewart, was this a knock-on? Did it go backwards? Certainly a fumble from Ratchford.
Well, I think that's what the referees viewed it on. I think you see there that he actually drags it forward off his hand. So fair call there from Robert Hicks. He's had a good start.
He certainly has, but why on earth did Joe Westerman throw out a wild pass? Take the tackle. You've got them only 15 metres away from their own line. You apply the pressure. Now the pressure is off.
A tackle from George Williams. A little man on a big man. He hits underneath the ball, hips down and drives forward, forcing the error. I think we've all spoke about George Williams, the potential for him to rule this game. Certainly living up to the hype.
Now Tai will want to hang on to it this time and does.
Spoke about George Williams, the potential for him to rule this game. Certainly living up to the hype.
Now Tai will want to hang on to it this time and does. To Powell, Sargentson, who's looked very dangerous moving forward. He's caused Warrington all sorts of problems when he's had the ball in his hands.
He's having a powerful game, Eddie, no doubt about that, but they need it.
That's a good ball wide. Here is Lewis Tierney. It was George Williams' pass. Tierney on the half volley picks it up. Gildart now waits. Here is Williams again. Thought about the pass in field. Instead, wheeled away. Got it out to Tierney. Lewis Tierney down the left-hand side. Here is Williams. Tackled by Kurt Gidley.
Certainly did. Just blocked him right out.
Williams. O'Loughlin. Smith. Shaw. Tackled by Kurt Gidley.
Certainly did. Just blocked him right out.
Williams. The whistle is blown. They don't know it at the other end. Sign off the ball back, boys.
On the face of it, it looks like nothing's happened there. Ryan Atkins
The referees have given him.
sprinted away, and Ryan Atkins is one of the fastest blokes on the pitch.
Well, they still play for the whistle. They've just not heard the whistle.
Time off.
Haven't they? You have to have both sets of players there.
Sprinted away, and Ryan Atkins is one of the fastest blokes on the pitch.
Well, they still play for the whistle. They've just not heard the whistle. Of noise here now with the both supporters trying to do everything they can to lift the team to the half-hour mark.
Well, you're playing without a referee then, Steve. That would bring.
Well,
you're playing without a referee then, Steve.
The whistleblowers, you know that. But he's absolutely right. And this is a very, very large let-off for a Wigan outfit that have been struggling the last 10, 15 minutes. What a start from the Warriors. It looked as though they were in full control. They only got the wide that he really has not got back the full 10.
Ryan Atkins was called as soon as that ball was played. Was called by Clinshaw the touchage on the far side. As soon as he got involved and stole the ball, Robert Hicks blew the whistle, and he blew it about 15 times, but nobody heard it.
Well, I certainly didn't, and I don't think anybody on the gantry here did. Back into this game when they've been under so much pressure.
And it's Bateman with the first drive in. After that.
Well, I certainly didn't, and I don't think anybody on the gantry here did. But what an opportunity now for Wigan to get back into this game when they've been under so much pressure.
And it's Bateman with the first drive in. After that decision to call Atkins rightly offside. Smith gives it to Williams. Williams then finds Sargentson. Sargentson to Tierney. Lewis Tierney, a little bit of history beckoning him tonight if he scores. We remember 1998 when his dad, Jason Robinson, got over for the match winner against the Leeds Rhinos in the inaugural grand final. He would be the first father and son to score at this great event. Bateman still pulled to the ground by Atkins, by Hughes. O'Loughlin, back it comes. Matty Smith. Here is Liam Farrell. Wide it goes to Tierney. Good defence from Lynham.
Yeah, it wasn't going to be sucked in on this occasion, Lynham. Stood his ground. Here's a kick.
From Williams. Nice one too. Well claimed. Well claimed by Joe Westerman. Tackled low by Bateman. Finished off by Tautai.
Yeah, good work by the loose forward Westerman. It had to be as well, because I don't think Westerman or anybody else was going to call for that ball, but he is a... They just pile into their defence. They have to put the pressure. Don't let Warrington get anywhere near the halfway line. Oh, that is tough.
It is tough defence. Ryan Bailey's on the field for the Warrington Wolves. It's his 8th grand final. He's looking for his 7th. Patton goes down the left-hand side. Much further downfield.
Well, you can see that it came off Gidley. Oh, it looked like a real schmozzle there, I'll tell you. They've got to get them sorted out. And again, George Williams is trying to put that kicking game to full effect. But Warrington have just diffused it all the time.
The kick coming over at his left edge. Tested the defence of Warrington. Might be a bit more reward. Anthony Gelling looks dangerous. Every time he gets the ball, he threatens to break the line.
Good offload by Hughes, and very well picked up by Matty Russell. But they've reached the last tackle again, have Wigan. They're only just inside, Warrington rather, they're only just inside Wigan territory. Oh, and that's straight up and under.
Well, not the best.
Lynham, the man, gets the ball away, gives it on a plate to Williams.
Quickly shut down there by Kurt Gidley. You know, Gidley's the type of player that he really does know how to control a game, but he's very strong in defence as well.
You know, some people describe Rugby League at times as an arm wrestle, but at the moment, Eddie, Wigan have a slightly better grip in it, and it's just edging them towards points.
Oh, Farrell thought about getting rid of that ball, and then realised his ball-carrying arm had touched the ground, thought better of it. Matty Smith, Sargentson, and Gelling this time doesn't think about the no-look pass or the hurried pass. He hangs on, takes tackle number 5.
Matty Russell, absolutely superb. Clung to him.
Last one coming in, it's a kick from Matty Smith. Out wide looking for Tierney. Finds Tierney, who palms the ball back straight into the arms of Kurt Gidley.
I know you talked about the arm wrestle, Phil, and you thought Wigan were getting in front. I think Warrington defensively have had all the answers. You can't defend all evening, of course you can't, but I'm sure territorially they'd like to be a little bit further up the field. Let's not forget, on an occasion they got up there, they got the first try with deck pattern, but it looks very patient approach from both sides. About the arm wrestle, Phil, and you thought Wigan were getting in front. I think Warrington defensively have had all the answers. You can't defend all evening, of course you can't, but I'm sure territorially they'd like to be a little bit further up the field. Let's not forget, on an occasion they got up there, they got the first try with deck pattern, but it looks very patient approach from both sides. About the arm wrestle, Phil, and you thought Wigan were getting in front. I think Warrington defensively have had all the answers. You can't defend all evening, of course you can't, but I'm sure territorially they'd like to be a little bit further up the field. Let's not forget, on an occasion they got up there, they got the first try with deck pattern, but it looks very patient approach from both sides.
14. O'Loughlin, well, he does look fit, doesn't he? Sean O'Loughlin. Talking about a possible gamble from both Tony Smith and Sean Wayne before the match, playing O'Loughlin and Sandow off the bench. But Sean Wayne confident in his skipper's ability, and more importantly in his skipper's fitness. 4 tackles gone for Wigan here. That was Ryan Sutton who gets to his feet. Sargentson again, good tackle. Gidley forced a hurried pass from Sargentson. He finds Williams.
Look at that solid defence by Warrington. Not one of those players came out of the line.
O'Loughlin again, hands on the ball, gives it to Williams. Wide they come. Here is Gildart. Gildart gets it away to Tierney. They muscle up in defence. Booming pass. Oh, and he finds the mark with Sutton. He spins away from 2. But that's the turnover.
Well, Sutton had no option there, but you see when he first took the ball, he was looking for support play. Watch it when Sutton gets it. He's looking to get someone there. Here he goes. If they'd have had someone there quickly, but they were not. There was nobody there.
We've seen some great examples of both teams stretched to almost breaking point, but just about holding out in defence.
Clark with another good run. Trademark run from the Warrington hooker.
Yeah, and he knows when to slow the game down, and that's the importance about this Warrington side. You know, he can be flash, can Darryl Clark, and he wants to play that way, but there are sometimes times when you know, run from dummy half, get that important 10 metres forward.
Stefan Ratchford from dummy half gives it to Joe Westerman. We are now exactly 10 seconds away from the half-time siren, and Ratchford knows that, so he humps the ball right down the middle of the field.
Well, that surprised me. I thought maybe a little chip over the top would have been a better option when he knew it was close to the half-time hooter.
There is the half-time siren in the background. Tony Smith's Warrington lead at the break. Declan Patton with all 6 points, trying to go from him after Matty Smith had kicked Wigan into a 2-point lead on the 7th minute. So the flags are flying for Warrington at the moment. 40 minutes remaining of the 2016 Grand Final, the last Grand Final that my learned colleague will be alongside me here in the commentary box. And as we go to the break, we'll be back with all the analysis of this first half. As we go to the break, let's hear some tributes from the other side.
Steve-O, Scott here. Congratulations on a fantastic, fantastic career, my friend. You must have been there a while, let me tell you, because you were calling the games when I was playing for Wigan all these years ago.
Peerless as a commentator, a man with enthusiasm on television, with expertise. But that's just the half of it. Steve-O, off the pitch, anyone who knows him is an absolute gem.
Not only have you been a fantastic commentator, a fantastic advocate for rugby league, not only over here in Britain, but worldwide as well.
Sky will be a much, much poorer place without you, Steve-O. Even a rugby union man has to say it. I love you, brother.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of Rugby League on Sky Sports.
We are thoughtful. We are thoughtless. We are kind. And we are cruel. We are creative. Destructive. Brave. Stupid. We are heroes, villains, visionary, and we are blind. We are responsible. And responsible. We are all what we have done. And what we will do. So we all have a duty to do the right thing. We are no different.
We believe your wife is a German spy.
I know for a fact you'll be proven wrong.
Introducing the new Xbox One S. Smaller, sleeker, sharper. With 4K Ultra HD video and Blu-ray and high dynamic range gaming. The new Xbox One S. Our ultimate games and 4K entertainment system. Console and FIFA 17 starting at $249.99.
I'm preparing to get my baby brother from the store.
Storks don't deliver babies anymore. Our new phones!
This October, a little surprise goes a long way.
The storks are bringing me a brother!
Is your seat wet?
I peed when we were falling. Storks in cinemas October 14. See it first, October 8 and 9.
You have the power to do more in more places.
Yes!
We have increased our network coverage across the UK.
Yes! 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 Yes!
Yes! We've got you covered. Here, there, and pretty much everywhere. Try our even bigger and better network today with our network satisfaction guarantee.
Yes!
Vodafone, power to you.
Gary, we've spoken.
Just 99p from the Saver menu.
Last year's British Masters was electric, but this year's tournament will be even bigger.
Join Luke Donald as he hosts the British Masters Thursday at 9 live on Sky Sports.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of Rugby League on Sky Sports.
We have a second half of the Super League Grand Final to bring you. After that, you can watch Michael van Gerwen against Gary Anderson for the World Grand Prix of Darts in Dublin. That's 8:30 p.m. on Sky Sports 1. Then tomorrow, the second one-day international, Bangladesh against England. 9 a.m. start for that one on Sky Sports 2. And for all the Formula One fans, the Japanese Grand Prix starts at 5:30 a.m. tomorrow. Sky Sports Formula One. Now, if you didn't catch the first episode of this, it's well worth a watch. Starring Anthony Hopkins and Ed Harris. It is now available on Catch Up TV, Westworld, Sky Atlantic. Right, we will bring you to the half-time tale of the tape here at Old Trafford, and it is the narrow favourites going into the game, the Warrington Wolves, who lead 6 points to 2 against the Wigan Warriors. Wigan first on the scoreboard through a Matty Smith penalty before Warrington Wolves hit back. Our coach Tony Smith has said during the week, if they want to be considered one of Super League's big boys, this is the prize that they need to win. You would imagine it would be a very controlled and calm dressing room in there at halftime as they have that 4-point lead. We're in the Wigan Warriors dressing room. Sean Wayne, well, he's unloaded his full bench in that first half, including Sean O'Loughlin. A surprise introduction into the matchday 17. Sean Wayne has already given him a start. They have had their periods in that first 40 minutes, but at halftime they do trail to the Warrington Wolves. And they probably, John Wells, the Wigan Warriors, started the game better and were quicker into their stride than the Warrington Wolves in this hugely intimidating and pressurising atmosphere.
Yeah, with all the noise,
and with all the distraction and with all the weight of expectation from this crowd and this atmosphere on the players, it was understandable that there were going to be nerves early on. And I thought Wigan actually displayed the worst of the nerves, but they also settled first. They also got into those familiar patterns, the familiar things we've been to see, things that pop out at you. For example, Dan Sargentson, that ability to be able to step and offload on the inside. We'll just have a look at him doing back on the inside, offload. Then the thing that strikes fear into the heart of everybody, George Williams coming across the field into the fringes of your own 10-metre area. Bateman pulling through the tackle, culminated in a penalty to Matty Smith, and 2-0 on the board for Wigan.
Williams been very good running the ball, engineering a break here. Some of the decisions questionable though.
Some of his decisions. I think rash at times. I think the one that sticks out to both of us is the kick on the zero tackle. Youth and inexperience. Despite the plaudits he's been getting, this is a big stage, big pressure. Nice piece of work around the ruck to enable to commit the first marker and the first defender here to send Liam Farrell through. Nicely worked, nicely organised, clean break by Farrell. Not able to capitalise though. At first glance, when you look at this, you think, well, this is all on for Wigan. And I was struggling to understand at first why they didn't capitalise. I'll just show you that. I mean, at that point, you've just got to say, with 4 attackers and 2 defenders really able to affect any change at all, that it was going to be a try for Wigan. Have a look at the second defender in, just here. It's Matty Russell. I want you to have a look at the subtle movements that he makes in defence and what that allows Dec Patton on the outside to do. We'll just run this on. At the moment, his hips are gone. This straightening up there to take on John Bateman forces Bateman into a ball and buys the time for Dec Patton to get in, which in turn rushes Gellin's pass.
If Russell continues his run cross-field, then Bateman steps in.
Yeah, Bateman gets him on the inside. Really calm stuff.
The Warrington Wolves had a very good chance through Ryan Atkins, who dropped the ball with the line in front of them, but they gradually got themselves back into that game. And then with kicks and running the ball, they caused Wigan an awful lot of pressure.
We will take a long, hard look at a really brave decision being made by Tony Smith to start this man who played a massive part in getting the Warrington Wolves to the grand final. They had to sit this man on the bench, a potential match winner. Huge call. We'll park that for a second, and I'm going to take you back to the reason that this try was scored, or the reason that they got the space to score. The man coming out of dummy half now is Darrell Clarke. These were a couple of his 3 probing runs that he made in the first 40 minutes, and that had a real effect, a profound effect on the way that the Wigan Warriors defended. 2 from earlier on. Now we go back to the pattern try. This is the play before, and have a look at the time when Chris Hill gets up and plays the ball. The man at the base of the ruck here, Darrell Clarke. The man with the headband on is Sam Powell. Just have a look at what Sam Powell does. He's trying to preempt what Darrell Clarke is doing to try and stop one of those runs. He goes too soon. Darrell Clarke gets him on the outside. Now there's a problem because he can now get into that hole behind the ruck. And Bateman, you don't need full gaps. You don't need big spaces to run in. You just need a defender on the wrong foot. That is a defender on the wrong foot. Once you've got that and you've got somebody with I guess the speed of thought of Dec Patton, that's only going to end one way. He is a mercurial talent who is only going to get better, and they lead 6-2 in large part because of that brave decision from Tony Smith.
Okay, Bateman beaten by Patton, but of course the damage done by Darrell Clarke. Warrington Wolves 6 points to 2 in front. As I said, they still have Chris Sandow in reserve in the second half should they need him, but at the moment Dec Patton earned his place and is starring for the Warrington Wolves.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of Rugby League on Sky Sports.
We believe your wife is a German spy.
I know for a fact you'll be proven wrong.
About the algorithm, tailored with the rhythm of the cylinder, stability line, and when it is time, but plenty of rhymes are willing to find, stable in the mind with the meter, like I'm grinding the needle when I hate stack, play back, paint that picture, ASAP, race track, ain't that feature, name that teacher, about break that beat, might experience, might prove that beat, everybody wanna see
Xperia.
Introducing the new Xbox One S. Smaller, sleeker, sharper. With 4K Ultra HD video and Blu-ray and high dynamic range gaming. The new Xbox One S. Our ultimate games and 4K entertainment system. Console and FIFA 17 starting at $249.99.
Struggling to get a credit card? Is it game over because you've got a poor credit score even though you're normally good with money? Or because you're on a low income despite the fact you're great at budgeting? At Aqua, we give credit where it's due, even if you've had problems with credit before. And we can give you a response in 60 seconds. So why not give us a go? Apply today at aquacard.co.uk. 18 years and over, UK residents and subject to status. Terms and conditions apply.
Back pain could strike anyone at any time. At Back, we have developed a range of products specifically designed to help relieve your back pain, like our shoulder brace. It pulls the shoulders back, promoting a natural and correct posture. Developed in conjunction with the London Spine Clinic, all our products come with a 30-day money-back guarantee and are made here in the UK. Pop into your local Boots or Lloyd's pharmacy stores, or visit us at backpainhelp.com or boots.com.
Are you in it? Are you up for it? Do you live and breathe it? Will you back your chat and play the odds? It's time for a new bookie. Is it time for some bets? You betcha.
What's the rush?
I'm taking you to the cinema. To make it, we have to keep about 49.3 miles per hour.
And if we don't?
We won't have time for snacks.
Rush, Sergey! Take a friend to the cinema with 2-for-1 tickets from Meerkat Movies. Only when you buy through comparethemarket.com.
I'm finally free. I'm home.
It's time we put together a new team.
I went back in time and created a whole new existence.
I came here to work with the guy who killed Damien Dark.
First, I'm going to teach you a few things. People still need saving. We got this. We're a team.
Brand new, The Flash and Arrow, coming soon to Sky One.
Rosberg on pole at Suzuka.
That's some good stuff, guys.
A fine margin separating Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. Rosberg picking up pole here in Suzuka, the 30th of his career, as Lewis Hamilton looks to chase him down. 23 points still separating them, 5 races to go. Join us for the Japanese Grand Prix, live only on Sky Sports F1 and Sky Sports 1 tomorrow from 6 a.m.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of Rugby League on Sky Sports.
Steve-O, speaking as a former Rugby League presenter, I can only say that not many people are irreplaceable, but in my view, you are. Trips to Cheltenham, they'll never be the same again. Remember getting on that train at Reading to join you in first class with all the people in their finery, all the toughs drinking champagne, and you with your brown paper bag full of cider. But I tell you what, Steve-O, you had more class than all of them put together. We will all miss you big time. Best of luck, mate.
Yeah, we will miss him big time. The game will miss him big time. And the final 40 minutes of a glittering broadcasting career is ahead of us. And Warrington Wolves are leading here by 6 points to 2. And we'll have yet more tributes to Steve-O at the end of the game here when the final siren sounds. And Steve-O also will be presenting the Harry Sunderland Award to the man of the match. As a former winner of that award yourself, Steve-O, that surely will be a very proud moment for you.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it, Eddie, and I'm looking forward to an absolutely magnificent second stanza. 40 minutes, and that trophy is going either blue and yellow or red and white. Warrington, to me, looked as though they were in control in the final 15 minutes of that first half. Can we see Wigan fight their way back?
Well, it's Wigan who will attack from left to right as we watch, and that's Ryan Sutton with the first run of this grand final. Warrington will have to make yet more history. Remember, they are looking for their first title since 1955. They also have a dreadful record against Wigan in major finals, having won just one of the last 11. The last final victory against Wigan came 36 years ago, October 1980, when they won the Lancashire Cup at Knowsley Road, 26-10. Wigan then were in the second division of all things. So it really is going to be an historic night for the Warrington Wolves if they win here at Old Trafford, and they are ahead as we begin this second 40. And there is a kick from George Williams that is high and towards the left-hand side, but well dealt with again.
Eddie, been looking at the stats at half-time. There's nothing really in it. Similar completion rates, meters made from both sides, 2 breaks to 1 in Wigan's favour. It could come down this to just a drop ball, a penalty, a missed tackle. Both sides are very committed. And what Sean O'Loughlin's doing.
This is a heck of a kick from Declan Patton.
That's a beauty. You talk about making sure you turn the opposition around, and it was always going to make it over the whitewash, wasn't it?
Just outside the 40-metre mark, so not a 40-20. Wigan will get head and feet at the scrum, but the players are all plodding to.
That doesn't surprise me either, because it was a very, very hectic first 40 minutes. And I'm sure that Sean Wayne at half-time said to his chargers, look, we have to cut out these penalties, and we have to cut out the errors.
Well, let's find out what was said at half-time. Here's Bill.
Eddie, the Warrington camp very happy with that first 40 minutes, and the coach, Tony Smith, just calling for more of the same from his side, particularly in defence, and that is where he wants to see the big effort in this second half, because they know what is coming from this Wigan Warriors side, who, as Steve-O, perceptive as ever, he's nailed it. That is the main concern for Sean Wayne. Cut out the penalties, cut out the errors, because they were their own worst enemy in that first 40 minutes. If they can clean that up, then they're confident they can overhaul the Warrington Wolves. A big cheer from the Warrington supporters a moment ago as Chris Sandow came up and sprinted up and down the sidelines. He's gone and sat down again.
Well, Lewis Tierney's not sitting down.
If somebody's on top of you, which they were, he was tackled, so the penalty's correct.
Well, I said
inside their own half. Now they'll get across the halfway line courtesy of Ryan Bailey, but it's the last tackle coming up here for the Warrington Wolves. So again, expect the kick from Dec Patton, and again he had the time to pick his spot. And Josh Charnley gets it and then falls over flat on his backside, and that allows Jack Hughes and company to come up. He got away from Hughes.
It's a good kick, isn't it? He just puts enough height on it, enough distance on to get Josh Charnley backing off. The game management, the back end of the sets is so important for both sides.
Charnley again, who collected that high kick downfield. That's 3 tackles on the halfway line, and here they go now with Bateman.
Well, they make it easy, look easy, I should say, to make 10 metres.
He's good in the... The whistle is blown by Robert Hicks.
Well, all the hard work, you get them where you want them. You trap them near their own try line, and then just the little strip of the ball from Wigan just relieves that pressure.
Well, the penalty wasn't actually for a ball steal. He penalised him for taking him to ground after he called held.
Yes, he just reiterated that to the Wigan defence as they lined up to face this charge forward from Rhys Evans.
But yet again, they give away a silly penalty. Sean Wayne will be absolutely furious at that.
Chris Hill, halted by O'Loughlin, and he is hauled off the grounded Warrington captain. Here comes Ryan Bailey now.
Well, they've been losing the battle in the opening 6 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think that Chris Hill would have liked that short pass. You can soon put him away. To each other, and it's as though that they've lost the confidence. We've seen it the other way around. They're peppering Tom Lynham. He's taking everything. Can't be saying the same for Wigan, though. They've got a reprieving penalty here.
They have. It's because of the flop. That's good work by Gidley, following up his own kick. And here comes Liam Farrell now for the Warriors. They missed him for much of this year, but he's in his 5th grand final here now. Liam Farrell. There he is, as his team are 10 metres inside the Warrington.
Can't see it. Is it Clark?
I think it is Darrell Clark, which would be a huge blow. But meanwhile, this is Gelling, and he goes for the no-look pass again, and he gives it straight to Matty Russell. And Russell now gets the return from Jack Hughes.
This will be a big blow with Darrell Clark receiving attention. He's a tough hombre, though.
Well, looks like he's going to be A-OK. The referee just giving him a second to get his breath.
Yeah, he just caught the hip. And you can see that the eyes are closing straight away.
There might be some hookers who make more tackles than him, but there aren't any who hit harder than him. He tries to cut people in two with his shoulders when they run at him, and occasionally he gets his head banged about, but they need him on the field.
Well, he was the man of the match in the 28-16 win at Wigan in April. He is deemed to be a key figure tonight for Warrington, Darrell Clark, if they go on and win this Super League crown. He's fully recovered in there at dummy half, gets the ball away to Ryan Bailey.
Well, we saw quite clearly there he's done already 23 tackles, so he puts himself about.
It's Patton who finds Hughes, and Wigan very quickly in to halt their former player. Still inside their own half. Matty Russell, another former Wigan man, gets the Wolves to halfway as we reach tackle number 5. So last one coming up here for Warrington.
Good tactics as well there for putting the winger in. Matty Russell is so that's far too long.
First poor kick of the night from Gidley, I think that.
Yeah.
Not the best.
But both teams now are starting to just drop the ball off to players on the edge, bringing the ball back, testing the forwards on the inside, and then the likes of Matty Russell getting in and scooting, targeting those same defenders, seeing if they're still switched on and ready to defend.
Charnley releases the pass, finds Sargentson. I say he's opened up a few little half gaps, says Dan Sargentson, from the very first minute for Wigan, but they haven't been able to capitalise on them as yet. That's a good ball from the Lachlan after a decent run. He then gets the ball away to Crosby. And Crosby goes down. And they're pushing a shot with the Australian Gidley. Gidley does well. That ball goes backwards though, and it goes backwards again off the ground from Crosby. Sargentson once more. Good defensive stint this from the Warrington Wolves.
A little bit panic though from the Wigan outfit. They need to get their composure sorted out and put themselves in a good position.
Bateman, good offload, finds Matty Smith.
This is going to be a high one. Will they go to line him again?
On to a Lachlan, finds Williams. Williams will tap it in behind Lynham, and Ratchford comes across and covers.
Brilliant. Great kick, but brilliant. Up to the mark. Stephen Ratchford.
And Ratchford was the dummy half. Now it's Rhys Evans. Players to lift them as Ryan Bailey leaves the field.
Carries for Warrington, well, they're hitting three defenders.
No pressure. Lewis Teeney picks that one up. Oh, he's quick, is Teeney. Like father, like son.
Well, you can see it wasn't the best kick, but that was brought about because of the Wigan defence.
Gildart.
Ooh, just got hold of it there, didn't he? Good work yet again from Toby King.
Yes, important tackle that was. Sargentson again down that left-hand side. Halted by Rhys Evans. Sean O'Loughlin just taking a breather by the looks of things on the side. Liam Farrell gets the ball away to Ben Flower. Ben Flower back on the field. This is his 200th career appearance tonight, Ben Flower. This now George Williams. Williams sees the runner, it's Sutton. He bounces off.
A knock on, but Hill, he fumbled it, yeah. But he didn't lose control of it.
Great work from Toby King again.
That's a great under pressure, nearly. Enables Lynham to get going forward here. Well, the referee said that was he held?
Supporters have spotted it. Chris Sandow coming up. Darryl Clark, who we saw. Tonight, well, Sandow is out there. What can he bring to this Wolves effort?
Yes. Causing all.
Then, if it comes forward off Gelling, should that be a penalty, which is what Ashton Sim was calling for?
Well, it's pretty close to it, but either way.
Well, it depends whether he was in front. It's difficult to see from the angle there which way the ball went and where Charnley ended up. If Charnley managed to get in front, then Gelling wouldn't be offside. Certainly that's the way.
What we need.
Here it is again, sir. Ball though, Ratchford. Ratchford. Last week we had something very, very similar to this, but there you see clearly that ball has come out.
Yeah, no try.
Ben Thaler is the video referee tonight, by the way. Ben Thaler.
And certainly sufficient evidence, as far as I can see, to overturn that decision.
Dominic Peyrou's try was turned down last week.
And that was on the basis of the on-field decision.
Yes.
This is the same thing.
That's clearly a knock-on goal.
Stuart, is he looking now, Ben Thaler, to see whether it was knocked out by a Wigan hand?
Well, he'll be looking for a restart. I think that would be the problem.
Here we go then. Here comes the decision. We think we know what it is. No try.
Well, defence wins your games. There was 5 Wigan players in attendance, preventing that man from scoring the try. There's not going to be many points separating these two teams after 80 minutes, and that's kept Wigan in this game.
Well, they certainly got there in the end, but they were very slow to move up. They allowed the centre Ryan Atkins. They were very slow, and they were lucky just to prevent him from getting that ball down.
Well, the big guns are back out there for Wigan. Frank Paul Nuwasala is on. He began the match. Wigan arguably had their best spell of the grand final when the big fellas were on and on board up front.
Eddie, you don't have to complicate players. When you're playing big games, you just need to do the basics well and keep doing the basics well, grinding down the opposition with big carries like that.
Well, the first 20 minutes suits Nuwasala that really was.
Fowler's away! Fowler gets a pass away to Oliver Gildart! Oliver Gildart for Wigan! What a turnaround! Video referee decision at one end, turned down for Warrington. Next attack, Wigan come up the other end and score the try from Oliver Gildart. Brian final, Richie Blackmore scored the first ever in 1998. Oliver Gildart has scored the 100th. How important is this?
Well, this is at the other end. Atkins is dropped the ball over the in-goal area, and then this is like hen's teeth. This is a very rare break we've seen from Wigan tonight, but it was crucial. It was foul, and then Gildart finishes it off. Just one clean break. Gidley couldn't get to him. He kept his patience. He kept cool, and Gildart has pulled the Warriors back into the grand final.
What about George Williams when he gets that ball straight at Jack Hughes, fixes Jack Hughes, the gap's there then for everyone to see, and Kurt Gidley trying to rally the troops. What excellent play from the young halfback who went straight at the defensive line, knowing he was going to be put under pressure, supplies the pass to his teammate, and that man goes in, Oliver Gildart, to score the try. Said Eddie, there wasn't going to be many points in this game.
Indeed not, and that's Oliver Gildart's first try since early August in the first round of the Super 8s.
Well, Warrington have picked themselves up before from disappointment this season after losing at Wembley. This game isn't over, but there's a massive sense of, I think, disappointment amongst the players here. They've been outplayed, in my opinion, for the last 15 minutes. They've now just been outscored, and with this kick, they could go behind. That doesn't mean the game's over, the season's not over, but they do certainly need to turn around the way the match is being played.
Well, Matty Smith with a very important kick. which will unlock these scores. But he's missed it. 6-all, low-scoring grand final this.
Steve, it could come down to your 1 point to this. Look, George Williams gets the ball, arcs out. Liam Farrell hits a very good line, like you always do. You've got to offer yourself to your half-back partner. And look what it means to Lewis Tierney and Oliver Gildart. And it sends those fans wild behind the sticks.
And it's also about patience as well. The second rower, Farrell, did not panic. He knew he had Gildart out on that left-hand side. Boy, it is game on. Boy, that's a beautiful kick there.
Fantastic kick-off by Stefan Ratchford. Right to the edge of the in-goal area. The dead ball edge, I mean. Tierney. Tackle to the ground.
Well, that try will put a different complexion on the game now as far as Wigan's concerned. They know they've got to stop the errors. Can't keep dropping the ball from the high bomb that we're getting from Warrington. Oh, and that won't help. That will not help matters at all.
No, it was a loose pass. Gelling did well. And that wasn't the best pass either, because Nuasala had to reach behind him. Buddy Isa had to reach behind him and bring the ball into his body. Here now is Matty Smith. Hurried kick, has to be under pressure. One bounce into the arms of Ratchford. He has the big man, line him alongside him. Wigan's defensive wall, though, is up and straight into his face. Lynham left out of the Challenge Cup final. So this is his first major final, Tommy Lynham. Rhys Evans will play the ball. Russell, so adept at scampering away from dummy half, catching defences on the back foot.
And it's always a good thing to get the wingers coming through, take a little bit of pressure off the forwards. But they're in a good position, very good position to get the ball away.
Here is Gidley, he then gets it away.
Oh, should have passed it.
Toby King, but he gets away from the tacklers and then gets the pass away back to Gidley. Here now is Ratchford. Ratchford has Evans. Evans goes wide to Lynham. Lynham dabs the ball towards the in-goal area. Dan Sargenson's there, and Dan Sargenson wins the arm wrestle with Rhys Evans.
Boy, sheer panic down to that corner flag, that's for sure. But good build-up there. But Toby King really should have offloaded that. It looks as though they had a 2-on-1 situation. Look at this. Rhys Evans, and then they got the kick away in the end.
Gelling. Oh, Patton didn't have hold of him. Gelling keeps going. Big, strong centre is Anthony Gelling, the Cook Islander. Hold, go. Sam Powell. Sargenson. Interesting who you might be presenting the Harry Sunderland Award to as the man of the match today, Steve-O. It's chosen not by you, this one, but by the media, the press. Watching in the press box, of course. So you will be doing their bidding at the end of the game.
It could be, Eddie, a player who has an immense game in defence. Those two last sets for Warrington, they restricted the metres that Wigan made. They're trying to ratchet it up. Tez has already talked about the points and the lack of them. I'm going to lay it out there. I think we're going to go into golden point. I think we're going to have a draw game after 80 minutes.
We're a long way away from that, Barry, yet. This is Gidley. It is 6 apiece. Sandow. A dab over the top from Sandow. And Charnley does well, but he's trapped in goal. Wonderful run by Sandow, and great assistance from Kurt Gidley. Does Gidley want this grand final or what?
Yeah, well, Tony Smith will have a nice little smile because he realised he's thrown this man on for Sandow to come up with something different. And boy, that is great. Gidley and Sandow make sure that Charnley have got nowhere to go. That is real pressure. And you'd think they'd score the winning try.
Well, Warrington won the first game of this season away at Leeds because of Chris Sandow. He scored a try and he set one up. He is a game breaker, we all know that, and he's now got a chance here in the final 20 minutes of the season here to end it as the beginning as the star of Super League.
And the man who is now playing alongside him, Kurt Gidley, 15 years in the NRL. He missed out on the grand final appearance down under. He was injured in the cup final after 58 minutes. And Warrington lost a 10-0 advantage. This is his golden chance.
When you talk about the golden chance, Eddie, it's will Warrington, with 20 minutes to go, will they be thinking about getting that 1 point advantage.
This is Ratchford. They go wide with Evans. Gildart watched him like a hawk.
Get square. Hold up.
Now then, Gidley to Chris Hill. Hill will trundle it forward. They've still got 2 tackles left this set of Warrington. They're 8 metres away. It is now with Sandow again. Sandow drops the ball. It's the in-goal area. Not gone over the line by Warrington.
Opportunity there, Rhys Evans. Sandow put a little dink through. It was tremendous stuff.
It was good work, Steve-O. He came from the open side, back to the blind. Good movement and good reaction from his teammates.
Into the last quarter of the season, into the last quarter of the grand final, into the last 20 minutes of Steve-O live on Sky Sports.
Well, in the last 2 years, Wigan have lost the grand final in the last quarter. But this season, they've been sensational in the last 20 minutes. If anything, really now, except they could get to an arm wrestle. This is the perfect situation for them here. But with this guy re-entering the field, it does spell danger.
Yes, and with Sandow on the field also. Last tackle it was for Wigan, hence the kick from Smith, which is a cracker. An absolute belter.
As he did, and he had the backspin on that as well.
Lynham. Thickly was challenged.
He's lost that.
He has lost it.
Oliver Gildart gets his shoulder in. And he's a big man, Tom Lynham. We've mentioned him a couple of times. It's Liam Farrell and Oliver Gildart who complete that tackle. And look at the joy. Look at the reaction. They know they're in the box seat now. It's time for them to apply some pressure.
And this is where their composure comes into it. It'll be a little bit confused for Tom Lynham. He puts the finger up. Yeah, it's my fault. This is where they have to dig deep. Make sure the defence is solid.
Both sides tonight playing their 36th game of a season that began the first week of February. It has been punishing. And their season now comes down to the next 18 minutes.
Will they go the blind side? No, they come open.
With Gelling. Has a hop, skip and a jump. Goes for the post. Was that high from Hughes? Referee Robert Hicks says no. Powell. Nowhere forward for Willie Isa. Powell again. Thought about Nuasala. Gave it instead to Smith. Here is Sargentson. Sargentson goes down a bit of a blind alley.
Good work by Sandow. Right round the ankles, made sure he couldn't move.
Bateman with a scampering run. Takes them back underneath the sticks. Matty Smith quickly in at dummy half. Gets the ball back to Sargentson. Sargentson to the corner for Charnley. Terrible bounce. But he gets it down.
He's got it. He's got it down. He'll give this to Robert Hicks. No two ways about that. They're celebrating. And there he points. What a comeback. And what a beautiful kick. And what a game this man is having. Charnley finishes it off.
And Josh Charnley on his farewell appearance got a try in the 2013 win against Warrington here. He got 2 tries in the win at Warrington last month. He's hit 20 tries for the season. And this could be a vital blow.
Well, this was a mistake from the winger Tom Lynham. That's the first for him tonight. They put him under pressure with a high kick. He's been okay with that. He was just on the defence and he was fouled. Gildart had put it through and Sargentson had put an absolute perfect kick through. This is outstanding. He is playing out of his skin and that's what this man is paid to do. And he has brought the Warriors well and truly in front now. They've gone absolutely bananas behind the post.
Well, 3 pieces of wonderful skill. Matty Smith to get in position, deliver the pass. The footwork from Dan Sargentson to avoid the defenders. And what about the finish from Josh Charnley? His 173rd game for the club. He bows out. He goes to the other court, but he wants to leave his mark, Josh Charnley.
This is a massive kick here now, a tough sideline conversion attempt.
Yes, it is. It's less than half a metre in from this touchline on this near side. Look at the angle he has. This to give them a 6-point lead. Oh, and he sliced it the wrong side of the post. So 10-6 it is. Ball just wouldn't seem to come out of the air.
Well, you need instinctive players, and this is what exactly Stan Sargentson does. He reacts to an opportunity. His eyes scan the situation, and he sees the chances to put the kick behind it. It's beautiful, it's soft, it's delicate. Bounces up invitingly for his right winger, and his team are now ahead.
And that try created and scored by two men who will not be here next year.
A big moment for the Wigan team, but also a big tactical change. Frank Paul Nuasala has left the pitch. So Ben Flower and Dom Crosby, two agile players, are going to defend in the middle. I think that's a bit of a nod to the fact that they're in front on the scoreboard and they don't want anybody, although they're devastating with the ball, to Lima Tautai and Frank Paul Nuasala. They can be vulnerable defensively.
Well, they're only just ahead. We've got a quarter of an hour of the grand final left. It's 10-6 to Wigan now. It's turned around.
A lot more composure though we've seen from the Warriors.
6-2 at half-time to Warrington.
It's amazing, Eddie, what the tries can do. Once Gildart went over, you just had a sort of a feeling that they're getting it back into the swing of things, and then Charlie. But the kick, it was outstanding from the full-back Dan Sargentson.
What a hit that was from Sam Powell.
He's defended strong all evening.
Ratchford with a loose one.
Bit scratchy from Warrington. I still believe that Warrington will get the balance of possession. They'll get some momentum back. And I still think, I'm going to keep saying it, I still think Warrington and Deddenberry will get themselves back in this game.
Oh, there's no way Deddenberry with only a 4-point disadvantage. Here's Ryan Atkins. His try turned down rightly. He lost the ball at one end. Gildart with the try at the other. Followed quickly by the Charnley try we've just seen. But here's the danger man for Warrington. Darrell Clark. Clark, Gidley, Sandow, all of the match winners. Here's Sandow. Now Gidley. Gidley will carry the ball forward. Gidley will give it then to Westerman. Westerman goes out the back door and finds Hughes. Hughes then finds Hill. Who's going to do the kicking here? Who's going to do the kicking here? Well, it's back with Clark, so it's his job. And into the corner it goes, looking for Tom Lyman.
That was only a fraction away from a TOI, and they knew it. Great work there by Darrell Clark. Not noted for his kicking ability. You could see that Tierney was just caught out just slightly.
Sean O'Loughlin's preparing to come back into the fray for Wigan.
Well, Warrington's best chance here is to try and put some pressure on the Wigan team here. Otherwise, if they roll forward again and get up over the halfway line, it gets too hard in the set to get back. Wigan keep it alive here. George Williams now skips his way across the field.
It was another offload. Flower is off as well. There's another offload then from Sargentson. I think he's been magnificent tonight, Dan Sargentson.
Dan Sargentson has had a good game, and the influence he's had in this game is there for all to see. But I think there's a real delicate little battle going on, a tactical battle. Sean Wayne has made another middle man change. He's brought Ben Flower off, and I imagine he's going to ask Sean O'Loughlin shore up that defensive line and keep everybody honest and in check.
Well, they've now reached tackle number 5, so the last one's coming up here. And it's with Matty Smith, who'll drill this one to the corner. It'll go beyond Ratchford, but it won't run dead, I don't think. No, it won't. It's a magnificent kick from Smith.
Who looked a bit high there.
Just over the shoulder, fortunately for Charnley. Russell into centre field. Lynham.
Isn't it amazing? You know, at times Matty Smith, his kicking can be a little bit off form, but when it really comes to the crunch, he knows how to get that backspin on it. He knows how to just put that pressure on with the kick inside. Warrington finding it difficult to get over the advantage line now.
Move, Liam, make me.
4 tackles gone. They're 10 metres shy of halfway. This is Westerman. Now Gidley. Gidley seeing a lot more of it here. They're looking dangerous when he does have the ball in hand. Oh, he tried to get the ball away. It's a knock on. It was desperation. It was a great tackle by Williams. He's surrounded by his teammates, as is Oliver Gildart.
Well, he really didn't need to do this. That was real sheer panic.
It's an offload, though.
But he hasn't got control. It's all right looking at an offload. You've got to control the ball. And I'm afraid on that occasion, and they have every right to celebrate.
Come on, boys, let's get
I think he's falling forward, isn't he? And the ball travels with him, and that's why the knock-on has been correctly given.
Clum, Warrington faces on the terraces here at the Theatre of Dreams.
Stefan, heading, please.
More tries, 150, more points than any other team this season. But at the moment, they are 4 points shy of the Wigan Warriors, and we have exactly 11 minutes of the match remaining.
Wigan in control. They're in the opposition half. You can see that some of the Warrington players, they find it difficult to get back.
Farrell to his feet, plays it to Powell. O'Loughlin will take it forward.
Will they go for the one, or will they go for the kick into the corner? They'll eat up another, play the ball perhaps.
Bateman.
Here
Bateman
it is.
on, the last goes down. Powell. Williams. Oh, and it's a kick straight into the arms of Stefan Ratchford.
Well, if you're in that position, you're leading by 4 points, you really needed just to dink into the in-goal area, or, as I called it, go for the 1 point. It would have just confused the opposition. Now, Warrington, that will really lift them.
Oh, and he was thinking about the offload there, was Matty Russell.
He's got through a lot of work, hasn't he?
Ashton Sims.
Coming from the wing area, and he really has worked overtime.
There's a problem. There's a problem with Kurt Gidley. I think he's bleeding, so the referee wants him seeing to. Oh, and he is bleeding too.
Look at the clatter there. That is really rolling down.
Remember, Kurt Gidley was the man who came off at Wembley, and Warrington then had a 10-0 advantage. They won the Challenge Cup in their own minds, but Hull had other thoughts, trying desperately to stem the flow.
It's got to come off that shirt.
And the shirt has got to be changed as well now.
Yeah, collision with his own player. I think it was the loose forward, Joe Westerman. And surely they'll have to change that shirt. The official, Robert Hicks.
Well, he's told them.
Yeah.
He's told them the shirt's got to be changed.
I must say, I'm often non-complimentary to our whistleblowers over the years, but Robert Hicks has done a fine job. He really has, and he's saying, I'm sorry, you've got to change the shirt, and he's right.
He has to go.
They're saying, well, we've put a lot of water in it. I'm the boss, you've got to change it. And there you are, Lee Breers. Get him sorted out.
New Jersey's coming on. And I don't think it's the right number either, by the way. Does that matter? Not particularly.
Can't do anything when the doctor's on.
It's Declan Patton's reserve jersey. Doesn't matter what number's on his back, Steve-O. His name's Gidley, it's not Patton.
Where you are.
Yeah, and that's the most important factor. Can he get over for this try?
Well, he'll be desperate. As I say, 15 years of trying in the NRL. This is his first season in Super League, and he hasn't won a winner's ring yet.
And it's less than 10 minutes.
Another high kick from Sandow. This time pouched by Sargentson.
What a game he's had tonight.
Well, I think if you were choosing it tonight, Sargentson might get the Harry Sunderland award that you would be presenting.
He would win it by a mile if it was up to me, but
it's our brethren of the press who make the decision. Let's see if they agree with you.
Move! Ashton, hold his 10. Hold. Go.
Probably my last chance to be able to say, but this is the time to just put it up the jumper, and that really, but they're keeping it alive. That was good work from Bateman.
It was. That's a great run from Powell.
Warrington's defence all over the shop. Look at him. Some are even going backwards. They've got the back to the opposition.
A race for Charnley. Charnley against Matty Russell. He nearly lost it. He nearly lost it. He's trapped in goal. Goal line dropout coming up. It could have been fatal, that.
Could it ever? Bobbing all over the place. As I said, in the first half, Matty Smith, his kicking game was all over the shop. But in the second half, in vital moments, his head experience is to, I'll get it out before the end. His experience is showing now in the latter part of this game.
Sandow's drop out then to the halfway line. Willie Isa will run this back enthusiastically. Chris Hill with the tackle.
Was it ever?
Hold it, Errol, hold.
Well, I'll be looking for the one, Eddie.
Well, that does not surprise me, and it will not surprise anyone over the past 26 years. Here we are now with Williams. Drops the ball off to Liam Farrell. And Liam Farrell's had a big game tonight as well, by the way. Look how close Wigan are. This is O'Loughlin to the line. He tried to get that ball down. Oh, is he going to give a penalty? He is! He's giving a penalty to Wigan because he says the ball was stolen. And Matty Smith's got on his face and said, we're going to take the two.
Of course. Well, it was Darren Clark underneath that. Was it intentional? We'll soon wait and see. Oh, I think he just lost control of that. What say you?
Well, it doesn't look good from a decision point of view on the slow motion replays. But remember, Steve-O, we have got the benefit of that.
Yeah.
Robert Hicks has to purely and simply make a reactionary decision. He's made his decision. It's a penalty. And immediately the penalty was given. Matty Smith pointed to the sticks. They're going to go for the two.
Oh, he didn't need the coach, Sean Wayne, to send out the message there. I'm just disappointed they didn't go for the one. I'd like to finish on one, but this is going to be vital.
It might come because this will be for a 6-point lead. Then they go and then they go for the one, make it 7. That's the obvious time to get it. I mean, I hate to argue with you in the last 7 minutes.
I'm sorry, Eddie, I didn't bring enough tablets.
So
stay calm, and that's the deal. This is a pressure kick. It looks easy.
Well, he's only kicked one, hasn't he, tonight so far? Missed it with a couple more. So Smith keeps his head down, hits straight through the ball. And the Wigan now have a 6-point advantage. And there is just a little more than 6 minutes remaining of the First Utility Super League Grand Final. They have one hand on that trophy. Sean Wayne knows that.
Yeah, and this surely has got to be a short kickoff. I certainly would have sent the message out, but it looks as though Ratchford is going deep.
He's looking both ways. He's looking both ways. He's telling them all to stay behind. They've gone short.
That's gone 10.
And they've got it.
They've got the ball back. Here is Sandow. Warrington are not done yet. Ashton Sims says that Sandow just keep control as he raced past him. This is Rhys Evans from the short kickoff. Warrington now deep in Wigan territory with Darrell Clark. Darrell Clark still away from one. Can't get away from the next two in.
I can't believe Wigan did not foil that short kickoff.
Here's Ryan Atkins. Ryan Atkins for Warrington. The legs are still pumping. He's so close.
Clark on his own. Will he go for glory?
3 tackles gone. He comes into centre field to Westerman. He finds Gidley. Gidley then to Sandow. Sandow short ball to Rhys Evans. Gildart all round him.
Hit the line.
2 tackles remaining. Glorious chance for Warrington. Sandow. Gidley looks for the runners. Keeps hold of it. Gidley runs himself. Then gives it to Jack Hughes. Hughes then short. Wide they come. Oh, look at that defence. Look at that defence on Matty Russell.
Gavin, Charlie. And it's Matty Smith, I think. And he looks as though he's caught one in the eye. But that was outstanding defence. Atkins offloaded. Look at this. Get him over the whitewash.
I think he got an arm in his throat. Matty Smith.
It didn't matter. Look at the face on Josh Charnley.
What an effort from them defensively there.
Try saver in the dying moments of this game. It's tense. 6 points into lead. This could have turned on the deficit to 2, but the defence was outstanding.
Bravery from Smith. Tenacity from Charnley and co.
Take time.
Oh,
just never gave in. The impact. Gelling, such a big man playing in the centres. Charnley made sure that the ball was not going to get anywhere near that goal line.
People, and he's not right, obviously, Matty Smith, did he catch one in his bottom, in his lower jaw? People wonder what it means to win a grand final. The picture there encapsulated that perfectly.
Well, I said when both teams walked out, Eddie, this is the incident here, and he comes in late. I think he might have got an elbow from his own play. I think it goes right into Charnley's elbow. As the players walked out, you know, for some of these players, it is your boyhood dream.
But it's Wigan's head and feet at the scrum, 10 metres out from their own line. Charnley on the half break. Ratchford gets to him.
Those are important. metres forward. Play on, that's good refereeing. They tried to con the referee there. He just said, get on with it. Is that a good game, Robert Hicks?
This is Liam Farrell. Yes, his first major final, Robert Hicks. He's not let anybody down. Had some big decisions to make, and he's made them. Isa. That's 4 gone. Can Wigan get to within 20 metres of the post? They're going left. It doesn't look like they're interested in the one. Steve, are they going to let you down? Here's the last tackle.
Well, who knows? They want position.
Oh, they want 4. Sargentson gets the kick away hurriedly into the arms of Ratchford.
Well, the defence is pretty good, but I'm not sure Sean Wayne would have liked that.
4 minutes remaining. 4 minutes for Wigan to claim on a third-time lucky basis.
I can't believe they didn't opt for the one. They should have worked hard for it. They went out on that left-hand side. Wigan got to be very careful. Get back to the official. They cannot afford to give away a silly penalty at this point. Clark's offloaded that player. Oh no, he's going to call him back.
The offload came after he shouted held, and Chris Hill has had to leave the field for Warrington, replaced by George King. Here is Sandow. Sandow gives the ball to King, just off the bench for his skipper, Hill. Running laterally, gets the ball away though to Ashton Sims. Ashton Sims spins away from Liam Farrell, gets the ball away brilliantly to Chris Sandow. And Sandow is clattered to the ground by Bateman and George Williams. Last tackle coming up for Warrington. Ryan Atkins.
Got to be to the corner. It is Gidley.
It's going high. Gidley looking for a mistake from Tierney. Finding Lynham. The Lynham palms it back to Ratchford. Ratchford's over the line by Tierney's defence. That's the turnover. That could be the grand final.
Talk about putting your body on the line. Tierney, get to it. It was good work there, wasn't it, by Tom Lyon, and flicked it through. But Tierney said, you are going nowhere, Mr. Ratford.
These kicks to the corners have caused havoc for Wigan. Somehow they've survived.
Yeah, let's go.
A 6-point ball game. 3 minutes remaining. Warrington will get 1, maybe 2 more chances. Wigan will be in no hurry to get through this set of 6.
Well, there you see the experienced Sean O'Loughlin just taking the run from dummy half. That's all they need to do. Every time you pass, there's a chance that perhaps you might knock on.
Crosby will take it forward again, straight into the chest of Gidley. In his own number again now. Will play the ball with Crosby. George Williams. That's the last one. They're not within range of the one-pointer.
No, get it over the whitewash. Get it kicked, and he knows it. That's what...
Oh, it's on the fall!
He can't believe that. The experienced Matty Smith has been too strong. You could see it came up the side of his boots. And this could be a golden opportunity for Warrington when it looks as though they're going to have to go down 30 metres downfield. Get the ball there, but there they are in the Wigan half.
Yes, they are after just 2 tackles. This is a chance for them. This is a chance for Warrington. Westerman finds Sims. He then gets the ball away to Toby King. Toby King somehow gets the ball backwards. Clark picks it up.
Sorry, Eddie, they've got to keep it alive. It's as simple as that.
Well, they realise that, Warrington, hence these offloads. 3 tackles gone.
Now the fullback, you can see the fullback's deep. Maybe a little chip over the top, Eddie. They've got to come up with something different.
What a tackle from Williams on Sandow. Here we come again then with Gidley. Gidley gets the ball away to Ratchford. Is there a last twist in this tale? Atkins, he dumps the ball back to Ratchford. Ratchford then looks for the runners. The runner is Westerman! Westerman! So close! They have rocked to the 5th tackle. Here comes the last for Warrington. It finds its way to Gidley! Gidley is held up short. Sensational Wigan defence. Anthony Gelling this time.
Heroic there by the centre, Anthony Gelling.
They can't believe it, the Warrington fans. 61 years of torment. Matty Smith's in all sorts of strife. He's had another break in the face.
Where you are, Anthony.
Smith and Gelling, bodies on the line.
Boy, what an effort. They were screaming for the ball out wide, and they went on the blind side There was nowhere there. He knows it as well.
Stay square.
Wigan know with this set they are 45 seconds away from winning the grand final, their 4th successive grand final. They've lost the last 2, 3rd time lucky.
It's up the jumper time now, I'll tell you. Tick, 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 goes the seconds.
Stand!
Charlie caught one on the back of his head. The referee calls time off immediately.
Yep. And there may be some slow play the balls from here and in.
It's a clash of heads, is it?
I don't think there was a clash there, Eddie, but maybe Charlie said, well, I'll waste a couple of seconds.
I think there's a bit of pressure on the back of Charlie's neck there.
Oh, George, square! Go.
Just a little bit of pressure as Charlie went down. Was it Ryan Atkins just leaning heavily on him?
3.
Either way.
Move, Darryl. Hold.
Just run from
Hold.
The cameramen are all around Sean Wayne.
Hold. Go.
They know it's his now to lose. Sarginson.
Move.
Tony
Hold.
Smith.
Wait.
The last coach to lose 2 major finals in the one season. Has history come back to haunt him? I think it has. I think it has.
It's all over! Wigan have won the Super League Grand Final!
Look at what it means to those Wigan players, those Wigan coaches, those Wigan officials, these Wigan spectators. From a half-time deficit of 2 points to 6, Wigan have come back and won by 12 points to 6. Unbelievable finish, and the heartbreak of Kurt Gidley, Phil Clark, goes on.
That's right, Warrington have been the best team all season, but Wigan have by far been the best team tonight. The second half performance was a completely one-sided affair in my opinion, and the final scoreline has probably done Warrington a favour. Wigan just looked so strong from when they came out from the break, and you can see here the delight and the despondency, mixed emotions to both sides. The two extremes, aren't they, here really, have been involved in sport. And 1 or 2 of the Wigan players who've missed the season to injury, like Sam Tompkins and Michael McElroy, they'll now join their teammates and celebrate what's been another successful season.
It's the red flags that are flying at Old Trafford tonight. Steve-O's on his way down to present the Harry Sunderland Award to the man of the match. He doesn't know who it is yet. We'll tell him. It's Liam Farrell. He's with Bill, but he's too busy embracing Sam Tompkins. On one leg, Bill.
Liam, the celebration and the feeling is that was an unbelievable effort from Wigan, sometimes up against it.
It was, you know, I think every grand final in their own way is unique, and this year we've written our own story and we've gone through so much adversity and we just wanted to make things right. We've been here 3-4 years in a row, and to come and do this with the squad what we've got left, you know, I don't want to go on about injuries, but the injuries we've had this year has been unbelievable, and to do what we've done is, you know, something really, really special for the club.
And the defence again, as it has so many times this season, the defence got you out of a hole.
It did. He's pulled us out of games all year. I remember early on in the season we played Wakefield and a few other teams, you know, we really grinded out a win when we probably didn't deserve it, but today I thought the lads really stuck to it, a gritty game and tough set for set, and, you know, I just thought we really deserved it in the end, because I can't be any prouder of the boys. It's unbelievable. Everyone has their own story, but this one is unique and special to the club.
What about being man of the match then in a match like this, Liam?
I can't put into words yet. There were so many players. There's one lad stood at the side of me. I wouldn't like to see how many carries he took, because he got us out of so much trouble in this game, and for him to leave the club the way he is doing, it's something pretty special, and, you know, I'm really chuffed that he's gone out like he has.
Liam, well done on the man of the match performance tonight.
Cheers, mate, thank you.
The man he was referring to was Dan Sarginson. Last week you had your nose splattered all over your face. You come out of this one smiling. What a way to bow out with this club.
Oh my God, I didn't think it'd feel this good, but all the boys that have done it before, they sit down and talk you through how good it is, and we've had meetings all week on how good it'll feel, but I didn't think it'd feel this good. My last game for Wigan, and I couldn't have dreamed of a better way to do it.
Dan, I've got to say, you came out of that game with your reputation enhanced, and you started it, I think, with an error. I mean, early on. I don't suppose you want to be reminded of that.
Yeah, well, I'm working to bring it up if you weren't, but No, yeah, I dropped a ball down there, but the boys got round me, and that's what we do. We're going to make an error once.
That sums up a lot about this Wigan side, doesn't it?
Mate, we've had so many injuries all year. We've had our backs against the wall, but this is the best bunch of blokes I've ever played with.
What about that kick then for Josh Charnley to keep your head and put that one in?
Well, I just knew there was nothing on for me, and I seen Josh in a bit of space and just smashed it. I don't think there was much skill involved, but the bounce come off, and Josh, what a finish. You're off to the NRL, Dan, which is another incredible journey for you, but what a way to bow out. Unbelievable, mate. Well, I'm going to enjoy the next few days with these boys, and it's going to be amazing. Josh Charnley's alongside. I think you owe him a word of thanks, don't you?
Yeah, mate, yeah.
It's a great kick.
It's one of those where, you know, you just never go, you never say never, you know, and there's a lot of players in this team that can pull miracles out of nothing, and, you know, Sarge's one of those.
You just had a big hug from Martin and Fire. That's a great way to run the night off.
Yeah, mate, you know, when I signed for sale, you know, I said to Wayne, I want to finish on some silverware, and, you know, having people here like my friends, my family, you know, and the fans, it's what a way to finish. I'm pretty speechless, to be honest. It's going to be hard to leave, isn't it? Yeah, you know, I've grown up this club. I've been here many years. I've been around the boys day in, day out. You know, it's like a family. This, so yeah, it's going to be an emotional night. But, you know, I'm looking forward to the next challenge. Well, the next generation, Oliver Gildart's alongside us. Oliver, the next generation. Hey, what about a grand final winners ring? Unbelievable, mate. You know, I've said it before. It's what I've dreamt of. You know, I've dreamt of this moment. And a try. You know, you can't top it. I'm just made up. You know, the lads leaving this year. You know, it wasn't a few years ago till I was sat up there. You know, watching Josh and all the other boys' lockers. You know, winning finals. And, you know, now it's my turn. You know, I've done it. I can't believe it. Enjoy the party, Oliver. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Will do. Sean Wayne, come and have a word. I think we saw really what encapsulates Wigan's season in that game, didn't we?
Yeah, I'm really pleased. I first want to mention the Warrington players of the club, Tony and what Simon's done. They're a champion club, great set of fans, made it a great atmosphere today, and it made that win all the more special because it's a champion club like them. So I'm happy with what we've done this year, and to come up with a win at the end is it speaks volumes for our toughness. I read ahead of this game you saying that if you did win this, given the circumstances, this would probably rate as the best trophy win. Well, people don't know the half of it. If they did, they'd agree with me. This is the best ever. Unbelievable win. I've just spoke to Chris Rads and said how have we done this, but it's just the players who've showed so much desire. Do you find it hard to believe at times? Yeah, I do, but what I do have, I don't do much, but I have a load of staff behind me what work really hard, and it's for them I'm really proud because they've put so many hours in, and they deserve all the praise. And again, we saw a massive defensive effort. Those tackles right at the end, and Matty Smith putting his body on the line. That sums up a lot about what's got you to where you are this season. Yeah, never say die attitude. Bill, I can't tell you how proud I am of them. You know, the things what they've been through this year. You know, the majority of the Wigan fans have stayed with us and stuck with us, and here today in numbers, it's like a dream. Thanks, Sean. Cheers, Bill. Thanks very much.
Fantastic achievement by Wigan. It means that the three major trophies this year have found three different homes. Hull FC Challenge Cup winners, League Leaders Shield winners, Warrington Wolves. The big one tonight goes to Wigan. The grand final. A magnificent effort, and players past and present all there to enjoy it, Phil.
That's right. I was asked this week before the grand final who I thought would win, and I said on the Sky Sports website I thought it might come down to the bounce of the ball. It actually came down to the dropping of the ball. Ryan Atkins dropping it when he was tackled by 5 defenders in the corner was the turning point in the game, and from there Wigan went on to win it.
Well, there is the man who won that Harry Sunderland Award in 1973. And he is going to present it in a few moments to Liam Farrell, the first second-row recipient of that famous old trophy since Chris Joynt in the grand final of 2000. Chris Joynt, the man who scored the wide-to-west try at St Helens. Steve-O will hand on the Harry Sunderland Award to Liam Farrell. It's a big moment for Liam. It's a massive moment for Steve-O. Lovely way to end his career. Not for Liam Farrell, but for Mike Stevenson. And he's now on his way back up to the studio, and we'll be paying our tribute to Wigan and him before we go off air tonight. An outstanding win. They had to turn around the deficit, Phil, as well at half-time.
They did, and they turned it around dramatically. I don't think the final scoreline, I said again, demonstrates how dominant Wigan were in that second 40 minutes. Warrington just couldn't find a way of physically competing with them, and Wigan rolled down the field and put them under a lot of pressure. Perhaps could have scored 1 or 2 more tries. And George Williams, there, the man you just seen walk past the screen. What's been said about Liam Farrell and John Bateman, Dan Sargentson, but George Williams, again, just shows for his age. He's 21, but he plays as though he's 31. And against some of the world's best players, he stands out at that level. It's a great scene for the Wigan supporters and the Wigan players. The culmination of a lot of hard work.
Yes, they are taking the applause from the Wigan fans. Sean Wayne also. And I just wonder what this means to Warrington. Only the second team in the summer era to lose both major finals in the one season. They're going to come up now for their runners-up trophies. It's a heartbreaking evening for them.
It is, you know, they've been sensational over the course of the season. 150 tries scored, and some of them, Eddie, some of the best. Probably you had to select your 10 favourite ones as a neutral fan. You'd have certainly 3 or 4 Warrington efforts in there. They've been fast, they've been skillful, and occasionally they've been dramatic to win games at the death. But they couldn't find one of those tonight in the second half when they needed it. And it's clear the despondency on Chris Hill's face. They've given everything they could, but they could not find what they needed to beat and score past this Wigan side when the pressure was ultimately on them.
Yes, they're receiving their silver medals from Nigel Wood of the Rugby Football League and Ed Cam from the title sponsors First Utility. It is a walk they hoped they would never have to make, having lost the Challenge Cup final in such dramatic circumstances in August. Ryan Atkins, how different it would have been had he been able to hang on to the ball. Ashton Sims will hopefully, in his mind, come back next year. And the pain amongst the Warrington supporters is evident for all to see as well.
Well, for most of the Warrington players, what sport does it? Gives you a second chance, and next year they can come back. They've been the best team consistently this season, but not in the big games when they needed to find their best games. And that will be the challenge for them next year, to peak in the matches. Obviously, you've got to be very good week in, week out to get to the cup final and the grand final. But then you need to save your best game for those. And that's the lesson that Warrington will hope to pick up from 2016.
Well, it's their 4th win in the grand final at their 9th attempt. Their first since 2013 when they beat the Warrington Wolves here as well. Sean Wayne becomes the first Wigan coach to win 2 Super League titles. John Money, 1998. Michael Maguire won it in 2013 when Sean Wayne was his assistant. It's their 4th grand final in a row, and having lost the last 2, it really is 3rd time lucky for Wigan. They will, of course, face the Cronulla Sharks in next February's World Club Challenge now. The Sharks, first winners of the Aussie Premiership in their 50th season. It means, of course, that only 4 clubs have ever won the Super League crown since 1996. It's the 21st Super League title, Leeds 7, St Helens 5, Wigan 4 now, Bradford 3. And they're the grand final wins. Bradford and St Helens winning, of course, in the old first past the post system. But the trophy is about to be handed on. Brian Barwick, chairman of the Rugby Football League, is there as well. And it's going to be in the arms of Sean O'Loughlin, the Wigan captain, in a couple of moments' time. And these are moments that the players will treasure. These are Photoshop moments for them to look at in the years to come. Sean O'Loughlin dramatically thrown back into the action here. He picks up the Super League trophy from Brian Barwick, and Wigan are the 2016 First Utility Super League champions.
Well, that's what the season's all about. You work for 12 months, sacrifices are made, risks are taken, and then ultimately, if you're good enough, you can hold your nerve, you stand up on that podium at the end and celebrate as the champions. That's the aim of the game, and 11 other teams now, from tonight on, Eddie, start the challenge to come here in 12 months' time and put themselves in that position.
Spectacular firework display after a spectacular grand final. Wigan up off the canvas, won it in the second half. Tremendous. And just for the record, the players who, of course, will be in the record books. Matty Smith with a penalty goal on the 7th minute. Gildart's try, Charnley's try in the second half. Matty Smith's penalty goal 7 minutes from full time. In the first half, Declan Patton, the youngster, playing in his first ever grand final. He gave Warrington such hope. He's given Warrington such service. They were 6-2 up at half-time, but they have been beaten by Wigan by 12 points to 6. So, we will go to a break. We'll leave it Old Trafford, but we will be back shortly. We will reflect on this Wigan victory, I'm sure, and we will reflect on 26 glorious years of the man known to the rugby league world as Steve-O. Don't go away. We'll be back after this short break.